This week I've been working on a pair of socks that are inspired by tulips. And I wanted to talk a little bit about biomimicry as a design tool. We love nature, we love seeing it, we want to incorporate it into the things that we make. Which is why if you go to a fabric store, you can buy fabric that's got little whales and dolphins on it. Biomimicry is, rather than a direct image representation of that thing, it takes a pattern or a process from the natural world and applies it to another thing. So I had this idea for like tulip socks. I didn't want it to look like a literal tulip. I wanted to kind of abstract it a little bit. I went to the op shop to get some fabric and I found two sweaters that had a perfect amount of stretchiness for the fabric. At the very same op shop, I found these earrings the last time I went, and this time I found one that looks like it's almost a direct cast of an actual eucalyptus leaf. Whereas the ones I found the first time take the shape of the eucalyptus leaf and the way that it sort of like warps and twists, and they've just taken that line and put that onto the earring. But I would still say it's reminiscent of a leaf. So biomimicry is actually a process of abstraction. You're taking one element and pulling it out and highlighting that element. When I was looking at scientific illustrations of tulips, they've got these like 3 outer petals, and then within that there's another 3 that fill in the blank space. They all go along this like 3-pointed star triangular shape. There's almost like there's this invisible 3-pointed framework that the tulip is growing around. So that's the part that I wanted to take out and abstract. Along the way, I also designed a font for this because I just can't help myself. I love fonts, and I think fonts are a great way to really distill a concept down and get like the pure essence of it. My original pattern had just 2 petals on the tulip, but after studying the tulip a little closer and making the font, I realized it had to be 3 petals. And in my original tests, I had some issues with the petals of the flower kind of flopping down. So I decided to use a thicker fabric so it will have a little bit more structural integrity to like stay upright on my foot. And to continue with the theme of 3s, I made it 3 pattern pieces. It could have been 2, like I could have merged 2 of them together, but I like the idea of it being 3 and having those 3 seams. The nice thing about the natural world is that it's highly economical. Evolution sort of follows this path of least resistance and cuts away everything that's not needed. So every feature that is there, it needs to be there, and it's there for a reason. Otherwise, through the process of evolution, it would have fallen away. And in the process of biomimicry, we're sort of doing the same thing. We're cutting away everything that's unnecessary and distilling it down to just the most important part that we need to communicate. I spoke about it in a previous video, but I saw this Rene Magritte painting of a tree, and it was like his idea of solving the problem of the tree. And the tree was just one giant leaf, and the stem of the leaf is planted into the ground, and inside the leaf is all the little branches. And so he's kind of using biomimicry to capture the fractal nature of the tree, that the little veins within the leaf mirror the structure of the whole tree and the root system. It's crazy. I think the purest form of biomimicry is probably fractals. They have a calming influence on the brain because it's like the purest essence of nature is these fractal patterns that just branch out. It's so trippy, you can just get like totally lost in fractals. If you haven't seen a fractal pattern before, it's kind of like a pattern that just repeats infinitely in this sort of spiraling sense. Generally, it's like based on sacred geometry. I won't get into sacred geometry on this video because I want to focus on the tulip and just keep it simple, but I could make another video on sacred geometry because it's kind of in the same vein. The tulip socks are almost ready. As soon as I have the pattern finalized, I will link it in the description box. If you want to learn more about evolving design practices, you might enjoy my video on iteration. I will link it here. See you next week.